Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Koron Pierre, and if you don't know me, I'm a certified life coach and your relationship guy. Hopefully we can work together in the future. So before we get started, please take the time to subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. Also, hit that bell icon so you get all your notifications. And also, hit the like button so more cool people can check out this video. So let's talk about it. Okay, so these are my thoughts on polyamory, and this video will be a discussion on the Red Table Talk episode featuring Willow Smith discussing her polyamorous lifestyle, okay? So, let's describe what polyamory is. Polyamory, or consensual non-monogamy, as you know if you watch my channel, I talk about that all the time. I always say it's a good alternative for people who struggle with promiscuity and infidelity in their relationships, okay? So, consensual non-monogamy is the practice of having multiple intimate relationships, whether sexual or just romantic, with the full knowledge and consent of all parties involved. Polyamory is generally not gender specific. Anyone can have multiple partners of any gender, okay? Yes, for the people that didn't know. Okay, so now let's discuss Willow. Okay, Willow, a polyamorous explorer. Okay, so yes, Willow is young. She's 20 years old. And typically when you're young and you're 20, you are experimenting with things because you're trying to figure out yourself, who you are, and you're just a growing young adult. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. I actually commend her for actually, stepping out and trying something new, stepping out of your comfort zone, right? Because most people aren't raised this way. This is something that is new to a lot of people. So I do applaud her for giving it a puncher's chance, okay? She also states in the episode, she talks about how the history of marriage irks me, okay? So, and she's not the only one that feels this way. Now, like I said, we spoke about this before, and I believe it was the video that's titled, Why Do People Cheat? We talked about the history of adultery and how it was a crime that was punishable by death. So you got to think about that, okay? People came from a long way, and now you have a lot of more freedom than you had in the past. So because of that, you find more exploration and challenging social norms, so to speak, right? Also, we live in a Christian society that definitely promotes monogamy, okay? So monogamy is what's pretty much done by the masses of the people, okay? And because of that freedom that we have today, you are open to create this new alternative. And that's one of the things she spoke about. And that's actually one of the things I do like, is that she just wants to be able to create standards that fit her needs for relationships, and it's something that is consensual, or it's something that other people also are looking to establish. And since you guys want this alternative lifestyle, you guys just come together, and now you guys are able to foster these types of relationships, okay? However, another thing that she said to me that was really interesting, Willow, is loving people equally. And I find that to be monogamous-ish, okay? If I could make up a word. And she was explaining how can't you find some sort of value in a relationship where there's multiple parties, more than two, where you all love each other equally. And Gammy flat out said, no, I can't relate to that. But in her mind, that's a possibility. And that's what she's seeking. But my thing is that, why do you have to love them all equally? Think about that. That's like a monogamous kind of one-on-one equal sharing thing. Like, why does it have to be based on a monogamous-ish standard, right? It shouldn't even be a thought about loving people equally. And I think that's why this may just be a phase for her, and I could see her possibly shifting back to monogamy. And she even said that she would consider marriage if it yielded some sort of benefit to humanity where she would have to come together with a spouse to provide this, value, so to speak. Okay. Now another thing too that I would like to add is the great contradiction, right? And typically when you find people talking about alternatives to monogamy, it goes back to sex. It always does. You want to act like it doesn't, but it does. Okay? So it's this notion that sex with one person is not enough, or your partner can't satisfy your sexual needs. So now, because of that, you need to add more people, or you need to go establish relationships with other people, right? But for her, she stated that her introduction to polyamory was not based on sex. And she's actually one of the people who are polyamorous that don't have sex as often as some of her friends who are. So for her, it's more of a platonic kind of connection that got her going, where she just likes to have multiple people that she shares a loving experience with, and not necessarily does she mean that she wants to smash all of them, or she may not be smashing all of them as often as a person may think. Okay, but that is a contradiction to me. You can't say that marriages fail because of adultery and people desire to have sex with multiple people, but then say, well, my choice for polyamory is not based on sex. That is definitely a contradiction. These are some final thoughts, because I don't want this video to be too long. Now, a couple of key takeaways that I want to discuss was Jada. I feel like Jada, she was the bridge between the old monogamous standards or thoughts that Gammy has, right? And Gammy was more traditional. She couldn't really get or understand polyamory. But Jada, who was in a monogamous relationship, who had moments where the relationship wasn't monogamous, at least sexually, entanglements, right? But I felt like she had a lot of great insight on the show. And one of the things that she stated was that when you're having a relationship, you should have a purpose that binds you two together that is greater than you individually. So sort of like, two Christians getting together who just so happen to be, monogamous, but they're Christian, and their Christianity pushes, their monogamous bond. And I thought that was kind of profound. And she just was like that glue, so to speak, to getting the people to see that it's better to have a deeper connection, and that would help provide more fulfillment in your relationships. So I do have two problems, and I mentioned one of them earlier with Willow Smith, is the contradiction and the whole monogamous-ish kind of thing. Why even, if you want to be free and fluid, why even confine your relations to a relationship, status, right? Because that's what polyamory kind of is. It's a relationship status. And this notion of promiscuity and having sex with multiple partners, but saying that that's not the reason to be polyamorous, when all of your reasons for justifying it and defying monogamy is based on, well, we need to have sex with multiple people. That's a contradiction. Another thing too, I find it to be rebellious from a standpoint of, we are mad that you given us monogamy as the default choice, right? So we're gonna just choose not to be monogamous in rebellion to the idea and concept of being monogamous by doing something that's just not monogamous. I think that if that is your sticking point, you're gonna have trouble in polyamory, because in polyamory, you're gonna face challenges, even similar challenges that you would find in monogamy. In polyamory, you're gonna find it. Jealousy is going to be there. There's different things that are going to be there that you're going to have to deal with. So you cannot run from, the responsibility. And I think the thought process of saying that monogamy doesn't work and I'm just going to be anti-monogamy, I'm not going to say you're not going to. I'm going to say you possibly will have a harder time going forward because there's no easy rides. Relationships are not perfect. Anything involving people means it's not perfect, and you're going to have to work at it. Open to being open. That's the beauty of polyamory. You can open yourself up to things that you are interested in, but you suppress. Okay? Living in your truth. Same concept. Just you're promiscuous and you just don't know how to be open about it. So polyamory gives you the vehicle to open yourself up. Now here's the last part, that we definitely touched on. Is it all about sex, right? Because if it's all about sex, then just keep it as a Tinder hookup. Keep it as a sex buddy thing, Don't try to put relationship standards because as we see the lady Gabrielle, she has a boyfriend who's married, she has a girlfriend, and that's cool. You can do whatever you want. I'm not saying what you should or shouldn't do, but if it's just a sexual thing, you can just keep it at that. Once you try to organize relationships based on sex, now the relationship becomes focused on momentary pleasures, and we're not looking for anything that's really going to be fulfilling in the long run. And what happens when the wife goes, hey, I don't really want to have sex with other people anymore? What happens then? Does Gabby get cut off? Does the husband leave the wife to go with Gabby and find other people or make Gabby the wife? You're going to have some of the same issues that you have in monogamous relationships that you will in these polyamorous relationships. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to cut it here. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to leave it in the comment box below. I will answer them. And until next time, stay blessed. Thank you for watching the video. And if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos. Also, hit that like button so more people can check out the video. And also, comment below if you have any questions or concerns regarding this video. I will respond. So until next time, stay blessed.